All right, folks, how we doing? See, got a knife review for you going today. This is going to be on Casstrom No.10 with the birch burl handle and that black liners. It's not brand new. I've been using the crap out of this knife, and I'd actually like to kind of do a little review on it. So, without further ado, let's get to it. All right, first and foremost, this is the No.7 in stainless steel. Stainless, never really, it's never been a steel I've been excited about. But these guys here, they do a pretty good job with it. The steel's actually cryogenically treated. After the heat treat, it goes into a cryo tank and gets cooled to, like, I don't know, minus 180 or minus 190. I don't know if that's Celsius or Fahrenheit, but at that temperature, I don't think it really matters, dude. That's freaking cold, okay? So, you have Scandi grind, which I've never been a fan of that either. But it's nice, actually. I'd rather have a convex grind myself, or even a flat grind, like on my Swiss Army knives, stuff like that, you know. But the Scandi, it's nice. You know, it's, you know, hair popping sharp, and it's ridiculously easy to maintain. Hold up. Oh, it's in my pocket. Too many pockets. It's easy to maintain with just, you know, a small little wooden leather strap. You know, it's, you know, you can do one of these numbers or draw the strap across it. But it's easy to maintain the edge on this, which is another bonus. So if you're not good at sharpening a knife, this is actually probably a really good idea to get something like this, or get one of these. The handle has that Coke bottle shape to it that we all like. You know, it's got a nice palm swell, so when you grip it, you know, it feels comfortable. You know, right there, man. That's nice. A little bit of a finger hold. No ricassa, or well, very, very tiny ricassa, tomato, but very little. So, 3 brass pins holding it together. The only thing I don't like about this knife is they advertise it as a full tang, which, right, that's the full tang, right? But they don't, and at least they tell you, you know, well, they don't actually even tell you. You look at the pictures and you can see it. It's skeletonized. You know, there's a lot of steel's been cut out of this, probably to balance the blade. It's the only reason I could think of why you would cut enormous amounts of steel out of the inside of your handle where that steel is, because you can feel it is a handle heavy knife, obviously. So it was probably really heavy in the handle, so they decided they were going to cut it off. Me, I put a lanyard on pretty much all my knives. It's got a brass tube right there, and I just got a bead, Ranger bead, on a piece of leather thong. Works for me. That way you can, this one here. Usually, though, I didn't want to do the strap on it too long, because typically you'd want to be able to curl it around like that and get your hand in it. But index finger, and it works fine. See, the leather sheath. Let's get into that real quick. It's a full grain leather sheath. I mean, I know leather. I work with leather almost on a daily basis. They use decent leather. It's not garbage at all. It could be a little thicker. It's 6-ounce leather. I'd rather see something like 10-ounce. If I ever make another sheath for this myself, I'm going to use 10-ounce cow skin. This is, yeah, like an 8-ounce, maybe even thinner. Maybe 6-ounce, I don't know. I never put a caliper to it to measure it. But the sheath, it is good quality. It's a little on the thin side, but, you know, what are you going to do? The ferro rod, it came with a matching ferro rod. See, I've started a couple fires with it. And it throws sparks like nobody's business. I don't always like using my knife to spark one of these, but it does do a good job. that way, that way. And see, because you get all this gross crap on your knife. But it's stainless steel, not carbon steel. So, wipes way clean. Oh, here's another thing that kind of annoyed me about this knife. When you get this, none of this, the edges aren't burnished. Okay? They're just, you know, rough still. So I should have beveled the edges, but I didn't bevel the edge. I just burnished all this. You know, any piece of exposed leather got burnished, even if you guys will be able to see it, even on the inside, you know, burnished. All that, you know, flesh side of the leather. The dangler, you can order a dangler from these guys. I think it's like 20 or 25 bucks. For what it's worth, they're ridiculously easy to make, or you can find them on Etsy, eBay, whatever. If you don't have leather. So, but yeah, that's that. So that's the knife. I mean, that's a look at it, and you get. I think these go for I don't know, like I want to say 250 bucks, 200. I don't know, depending on how you get the setup, because you don't have to get it with this. You don't have to get it with one of these. You know, I didn't, and they go for, because I bought this secondhand, by the way. I didn't buy this from Casstrom. I bought it from somebody on Bushcraft USA. He was selling it. I was like, boy, that's a dandy looking knife. You know, I like the look of it, the shape of it, and I knew I would like the feel of it, because I know what I'm looking for in a knife. Let's actually do a little bit of testing on this knife, like stuff that we can do with it. I don't know. Let's try to split a piece of wood. First and foremost, let's do that. Oh, wait. Oh, let's test the sharpness first. All right. Can we actually shave with this? Okay, can you all see that? Oh, hair blew away. You guys can see that. Boom. So, it's shaving sharp, right? Like I said, it's ridiculously easy to maintain a shaving edge with a Scandi grain. Especially with this, the steel's just, it's a nice steel, actually. Let's see what it does to this. Can we split it? Yeah. This is going to be a chore. This is the maximum at what you would want to split. The only reason why I'm going to even bother batoning this knife through this piece of wood is because it's already split. This is an old mallet that I made for using out here in the woods. So, but we can split this. Let's give it a try. Now, because of the skeletonized handle on this, you know, I was telling you how there's a lot of steel cut out of this handle. I've heard where people have been batoning and they've actually broke their knife. I forget. There's another knife maker, and a guy on YouTube, he was teaching a class. He wasn't filming a video, but he was teaching a class and had not this maker, not Casstrom, but another company that does skeletonized full tang knives, full tang handles. And he had one break while he was teaching the class, and he was really angry about it. So anyways, now this should work to baton. And let's go. Let's send it. All right, now we're going to go with the way this thing wants to split. There's a big split here. Actually, there's a big split here. We're going to obviously use those to our advantage. Oh, I might be able to break it. Nope. Let's try one more. Boom, we're down into here. Not bad, right? Now that it's broken down a little smaller, now we can actually excuse me. But, you know, you get the idea. And this is ash, the type of wood I'm using. The type of wood you use does make a difference. Ash splits very easily. It's a nice straight grain. It's what they make baseball bats out of. Louisville Sluggers made out of ash. So that definitely helps if you had a knotty piece of maple or a cherry or even birch. It's made out of birch. The handle's birch. If you were doing that, it probably wouldn't go quite as easily. But I mean, you know, it'll go. Still shaving sharp. Oh, see that? Still shaving sharp. Not bad. Now, my feather sticks, I am not the authority on feather sticks, but I can make some curls. See? Not bad. What about chopping? All right. Here's a piece of ash. Right. Just a branch off a long since dead ash tree. But let's try this. Now take it and use the weight of the knife to chop. Not bad. I mean, it's kind of all over the place with some of these swipes, but where I'm hitting, good. It's taking chunks out. Let's turn it. And watch this. Bam. Check it. Alright, cuts and splits. Let's see, I think I got a chunk of fat wood. There's a little sliver of fat wood. Right now, actually, and using the spine to make feathers. You get a lot of your fine, really fine stuff. Oh, that's with the spine. And that will light right up. Even if you weren't using fat wood, that would catch a spark. So get a few more of these. And the ferro rod that they give you, it's actually a decent ferro rod too. They don't cheap out and give you something that barely throws sparks. There it goes. Boom. So, honestly, it's a darn good knife. I mean, what else do I use it for? I mean, I use it for cutting, rope. What do we got, actually? I had a piece of cordage here, but, I mean, obviously it's going to cut cordage. So, I mean, it cuts, it chops, it splits, and it starts a fire. Comes with a pretty good sheath. It's definitely not bad. Like I said, the sheath could be a little better, but for what it is, a lot of, for the most part with knife makers, 6 to 8 ounces pretty much an industry standard. 10 ounce maybe for your bigger knives and axes. My buddy Jim over at Canoe Brand Gear, he uses, I think, exclusively 10 ounce leather, and that's easily the way to go. 10 ounce leathers. It's just heavier, If you want a sheath that's going to last a lifetime, you want 10 ounce leather. This here will not last a lifetime. It won't last the lifetime of the knife. This here will last a long, long time, though. It's a quality sheath, but it could be better. So, And that's really nitpicking too. I mean, this is a good knife. If you're shopping for these new, they're anywhere from like, you know, 180 to 250 in that range, and that's of right now, as of right now in the spring of 2022. So do I recommend it? Yeah, it's a great knife. I'm gonna do a couple more knife reviews. You know, speaking of my buddy Jim, I know I showed off my kukri in one of my videos earlier this year in the winter, just because, dude, that is a badass knife. That is awesome. I love that knife. Favorite knife that I own. It's the kukri, especially that particular kukri, it's versatile. It's nice. It's an awesome tool to have in your bag, and I love it. So I'm gonna actually do a real review on that. I was just kind of showing it off, saying, "Hey, check it out," you know. So I know a couple people. I think some people left comments on there and said, "Oh, well, that wasn't much of a review." Blah blah. It wasn't. It's because it wasn't a review, and I'm sorry if it came across that way. But this was a review. This is a nice knife. Yeah, and like I said, after all that, she still shaves. You know, after batoning it through a piece of wood, and then, you know, continuously batoning. You know, she holds an edge like nobody's business. Because ideally, when you're batoning, actually, you know, that piece of wood was longer than the width of this blade, or longer than it was. I had that backwards. It was wider. You know, the diameter was greater than the length of this blade, and you know, I wouldn't expect a knife this size to baton something that big. But that's been dead for a long time, and it's ash. Ash, like I said, the type of learn your trees. If y'all don't know your trees, learn your trees. At least the basics of the trees that are in your area. In fact, there's a on Bushcraft USA, there's Bush class, and on in part of the Bush class stuff that they do, there's one of the lessons is tree identification, where you go out and you identify trees. Well, that's great. Go and identify some of the trees in your neighborhood, you know, in your area, in the area that you operate in, okay, that you hang out in, you know, so that way you know what they are and you know what they're useful for, you know, not just what they are. So I'm starting to ramble. So with that, I bid you all adieu, and I'm going to make myself something to eat. You guys have a good one, and I'll catch you on the next one. All right? So, later.